So I think the big opportunity here is actually that AI is going to grow the pie tremendously. And so, one thing to think about is that we're going to 10x the total wealth, right? And so there's enormous opportunities, more so than has ever existed.
Yeah, that's a great point. And be explicit. Like, I'm obviously in total agreement with you about how the pie grows, but just be explicit. Walk us through the steps on why AI is going to grow the pie.
Sure. Well, so fundamentally, where does wealth come from? How does wealth get created? And it's if you really like boil it down to its most essential ingredients, it's energy and intelligence. And AI, on the cusp of 10xing the amount of intelligence, and so that's going to mean new materials, new medical innovation. I think we're going to see more progress in medicine in the next 10 and 20 years than, certainly any other time in our lifetimes. Our understanding of science, our understanding of just reality as a whole is going to change. And of course, energy, I think is going to be opened up as well, both because of the need to scale the energy, but also these new technologies.
So it seems like the bottleneck to do really interesting things in the world is energy, and that the limitations of computers in the early days was just how much processing power you had and how much RAM you had. Like if you went and talked to Bill Gates or something, they were trying to do almost like impossible things by laying out every single byte in a computer. Obviously, we don't worry about that. You were at the forefront of building an entire web application in JavaScript, which those guys would have thought was super sketchy.
A lot of people thought it was super sketchy at the time.
But now is how everything works.
Yeah.
And so it seems like as energy becomes more abundant and compute becomes more abundant, the scale of what you can do easily gets bigger and bigger. And this applies all the way to like colonizing space and building worlds on Mars and stuff. Like it's all the same continuum of energy. So maybe if you could paint the picture of like, what does limitless free energy look like?
It looks like limitless abundance, right? A lot of our hardest problems really boil down to actually just energy. So something we don't think a lot about, let's say maybe is like recycling, right? Like why is recycling a scam? It's because it's actually very difficult to take plastic and all of these things and turn it into something new. But if you actually just incinerate it and reuse the atoms, we can recycle essentially everything. So, in the future, you could just throw your trash into the incinerator and out comes like new raw material.
Yeah. And so I guess you could extrapolate, like what's the thing is like every problem is a physics problem if you boil it down enough, right? Like
Yeah, between, a combination of physics and engineering, right? And so if you have the engineering, if you have unlimited engineers and you have unlimited energy, we can solve basically all of our problems.
I like that. All right. Good way to finish.